it actually kicks in. So I just say hello for a
There
really
we
long
go.
time. Now we're live. Hello, everybody. It is
Guys.
Wisdom Wednesday, and I am so excited to have my good, long time, I like to call it lifelong friend, Marnie. I said Marnie SandBloom because she really has been Marnie SandBloom for a really long time, but I know her as Marnie Berry, and she knows me as Jody Lewis because we met way back when we were going to college. And I was trying to remember that, Marnie. Was what kind of Mustang did you have? Was it a 67, 68?
It was a white 66 Mustang with red interior. Yeah.
Okay.
And yours was red.
With gray interior, but it was originally white.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so she had a 66, I had a 67, and I swear I think we like parked next to each other or something. I remember it was over kind of by the gym side.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we just connected. And the funniest part of all is she had only just moved up there from San Jose, which is where I was born. Even though I lived in Redding, she was from San Jose, and I think we bonded over that too. And yeah, it just went from there. So why don't you just start, Marnie, with just sharing a little bit? And as people are joining, I just said to say hello, drop any prayer requests if you do have it, because I know there's so many fires, there's so much stuff going on right now. So I wanted to make sure that if anybody needs prayer, I will pray for you. Even if I don't pray online, I always come back. So if you share where you're joining from, replay or not, I pray for you. I can't see afterwards who was on, so you have to post or type. So I know we've got some people on, and so say hello if you guys are on. Oh, hello,
Hi,
Abigail.
Hi, Abigail. Porphyria. Ooh, that's a powerful name. Porphyria.
Yeah, she goes, I call her Pokey. There's Abigail. Can you pray for me? I found out that my college is virtual all year and I might be moving by January. So, Abigail, let us know exactly what you're wanting prayer for. Clarity. I wasn't quite sure because I know your college is going virtual and you might be moving. So, let me know exactly what I can pray for. And then, yeah, we've got shout out to, she says to call her Pokey, but shout out to Pokey. She's actually at youth right now in Austin, Texas. I want to take a tour, Marnie, and go visit everybody that joins.
Right? Oh, Abigail's moving to Florida. Maybe.
Yeah. You're looking so cute. I love the whole outfit. And I just have to share. And I always, when I have somebody on Wisdom Wednesday, I don't know why, but it has always worked out that they're always a kingdom, what I call a kingdom-driven entrepreneur. And so Marnie is, and she has her own company with jewelry, and she's wearing it. And I, of course, am wearing this. And what I love the most is, I'm just saying, it's super cute, and it's $5. $5. So when you don't feel like you have a lot, there's something about it. And I've been in that season, and I'll like get so excited because I have $20 to spend, and I get this adorable gift from Marnie of what I purchased, and it just makes my outfit look a little brighter. And what do you got going on, Marn?
Well, yes, I am the owner of Feel Pretty Bling Boutique here on Facebook. My website is feelprettybling.com. And my accessories tonight, I felt like going a little bit fancy. So my necklace is actually one of my $25 pieces, and it's brand new this year. And it comes with these amazing earrings that are a little bit smaller than the ones that I'm wearing right now. These are a separate pair for $5 that I am just enamored with right now. These are my go-to favorite earrings. They're gunmetal with the rhinestones, and
gunmetal is your favorite. You're always
It is.
telling me the different type of style people have that are girls. I know guys, sorry, you might not, but you probably got a wife or you got a sister, you got a niece, but what do you say I am again? I'm Malibu
Well, now
and
there's 5 different basic types. So
this is fun.
the gunmetal edgy style is called Magnificent Musings. You can see I've got this cuff bracelet on with the rhinestones that matches. Oh wait, that matches my whole ensemble, and I also have the ring that is gunmetal with the rhinestones. So that falls into the category of Magnificent Musings. Magnificent Musings focuses a lot on metals. It could be like a brass, it could be gunmetal, but just more kind of funky, edgy look to it. I always say I'm a wannabe rock star.
Oh, totally. Yeah, your
So
hair, your everything, totally.
yeah, and then, but I'm a little bit girly too. So I do like some of the more feminine. Of course, I love bling, and that would be Fifth Avenue, which that's what you are. Jody tends to love the Fifth Avenue style, which is pearls and rhinestones.
Yes.
Very like almost kind of prim and proper, but fun, really nice, put together, streamlined. She probably likes to shop at stores like H&M. Those are like that explains a Fifth Avenue girl. Jody's also a largely Glimpses of Malibu, which the set she's wearing right now, I would categorize that under Glimpses of Malibu.
I was wondering, am I Fifth Avenue or am I Malibu
She
today?
loves the pops of color, the fun pops of color, and the little kind of girly, frilly looking pieces. So that is that. And then let's see. So there's 2 other ones that I haven't mentioned, right? Or 3 other ones. 2 other ones. So
So you
the
got
other ones would
Malibu,
be
Fifth Avenue, yours, which is the Muse, like,
Magnificent Musing, yes. And
mhm.
then there's one called Santa Fe, which really tends to lean towards the turquoise and the natural stones, all different color stones, cat's eye, tiger eye, stuff like that. But the cat's eye stone, they tend to be really pretty girly. Some people call those moonstones as well. And
Mhm.
those can fall under the Glimpses of Malibu as well. So you probably like the cat's eye moonstone look as
Yeah,
well.
I'm like, okay, you got to tell the 5th one, but I'm like, what happens if you like could wear all 5? Because I literally am one of those people that
Oh
I
yeah,
would totally do what you're more kind of biker chick, especially. I call it biker chick,
with the
but a
right
little,
outfit. Yeah,
yeah.
of course.
Like,
Yeah.
hello, my husband has a Harley and a Triumph, and we ride motorcycles. So I definitely, if it fit the look, so
So I like to explain it like if you've ever heard of the 5 love languages.
yes.
There's
I
5
knew we were
different.
going somewhere because I felt like this actually. I was like, okay, God, we're talking about this, but I thought that it really helps people because I think sometimes you're like, who am I? What, like, we're so different. And
Yeah, so the 5th one is actually called Sunset Sightings, and Sunset Sightings also a lot tend to come in with colors, but it's really kind of like the trendy vibe. Whatever's trendy right now is in Sunset Sightings. So if it's colors, it's going to be in Sunset Sightings, for this season. So Sunset Sighting is kind of like a trendy, and it usually has, pops of color and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Amber. So, so yes, the 5 love languages. If you know about the 5 love languages, and let me see if I can spit those out, just in case somebody's watching that has no idea what the
I
5
know
love
them
languages
too because I actually use them in my coaching.
are. Okay, good. Do you want to say what they are real quick?
Why don't you start with telling us which ones you are?
Okay. I am definitely physical touch
Okay.
and words of affirmation.
Okay.
Mhm.
And what does that look like for you?
I don't know. Like as soon as you asked me that, I wanted to say what it doesn't look like for me.
Okay, so what doesn't it look like? You say it, girl. Like this is the safe place.
Okay, well, I love my daddy. I love my daddy. I love my earthly daddy. He is 84 years old. He just turned 84 years old.
Oh my God. I love your dad too.
He's amazing. He's the best dad on the planet. I mean, he's Superman. You know, he knows how to do anything. He can fix things. He's
Was he a fire captain?
Battalion chief for City of
That's
Santa
what
Fe.
I thought. Okay, your dad was, I mean, hello, that like says hero right there.
So that's one step below the chief.
Yeah, that's what,
right. So your gifts is yours. Oh well, good. So I'm already speaking to your love language, Amber. I just sent Amber some jewelry for her to try in the mail.
Ooh.
So anyways, physical touch and affirmation. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah. So oh, that's awesome. I know that my guy is quality time, and the other one would be really hard to. I think it's acts of service. I think it's quality time and acts of service, but he's very physical touch too. I mean, you know, anyways, let me get into let me back up to what I was saying. My dad is amazing, but he never would hug my sister and I growing up. Never. I can remember being 16 and in the kitchen and just screaming at him like it all came out. You never tell me you love me. You don't hug me, you know. Did that change anything? No, it didn't. Now he will hug me, but I like, you know, 99.9% of the time I got to go in for the hug. Like, if you go in and hug him, he's receptive, but he's not going to be the one to initiate that hug. And I've just had to accept that over the years. And if I want that hug, if I want that I love you, I have to say I love you and hope to get it back. He's
So what is his love language?
Oh shoot.
I'm thinking acts of service, honestly, based on what you just explained, that he was great at fixing things. He's great at doing and helping, and just like knowing your dad and the things. And he might be gifts too, because your dad's always gotten you really thoughtful.
No, things. I know. No, I know it has to be gifts, because that's how I figured out he shows love to me, is gifts. It's got to be gifts. Gifts and probably acts of service and gifts, because he's very much a doer. You know, he's always doing something, so he probably would want that from others. So yeah, absolutely. But you know, I don't know if we talked about all 5, did we?
So okay, so Marnie is, which of the 2 are you the top?
Words of affirmation and physical touch.
Okay, so Marnie is words of affirmation and physical touch. The next one is quality time. And the next one is gifts, and then acts of service. So
right. Okay.
Acts of service is my lowest, FYI. And this was really funny when me and Dan did it, because we both had 2 that scored really close to each other. So he was acts of service and words of affirmation, which I was surprised, the words of affirmation. And then I was words of affirmation and quality time. So I love spending quality time. So like a perfect example of opposite love languages, which you need to learn, because the best way, I still remember when my pastor, I told him, we did the test and now I know how to tell Dan to love me. And he's like, Jody, that's not what it's really about. It's for you to learn how other people want to experience love. I know. So, okay, that was like 12 years ago. So hopefully I've matured some. But yeah, that
Yeah.
was pretty hilarious. Like that was my concept. But it helped because it made sense because I noticed my words of affirmation were always tied to acts of service. So, like, and Marnie, you and I could totally relate to this because I know acts of service is not yours to like to clean the dishes, to do those things. It's like, ooh, but I have to go, I am loving my husband. I am loving my sister is acts of service also, and then physical touch. So I noticed, so now that I'm learning that more, I'm like, okay, if I can just hug her really quick, she'll melt.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I could just hug her really quick, or if I could do something, my mom has acts of service too. And I think my mom's other is words of affirmation like me. So,
Mhm.
but words of affirmation, I didn't realize how much affect me. People will sometimes for people with words of affirmation, if you're not, that they're very sensitive because they are very specific with their words. And I think my dad had words of affirmation because he wouldn't say something unless he really meant it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like when words of affirmation is your love language, you normally, because negative words really affect you, you're more aware of it. And so you're like, okay, I'm not going to say that unless I really don't ever want to take it back because
I don't
to
know. I'm not like that.
no,
I've said some nasty things to Jake. I really
oh,
have. And yeah, but I'm learning not to. I'm a lot better about it now. We've been together almost 7 years. So I'm learning not to, but yeah, I wouldn't agree with that. Not for me.
okay. Well,
No,
I
but
would,
I like recognition. I like to be recognized. I like to be um told that I'm doing a good job, or that I'm good enough. Basically, I need
yeah,
to be told that because I've never, my dad's never ever told me he's proud of me. Um, and it sucks, but at the same time, like, he's the best dad ever. He's still the best dad ever. And yeah, so
so did we get all five? So acts of service, physical touch,
mm,
and it's like you nailed it, like hugs, and not just like sometimes people can go to additional thoughts, but it really is like just the present, like somebody with physical touch, they like to be right next to you. They'll probably be the spooner and sleeping in a relationship.
yeah, Jake and I just my last bigger purchase was a love seat for our bedroom that it's a reclining love seat, and we are right next to each other touching. And poor guy, he's been struggling with poison oak lately, so I can't really. Usually I would lay my legs over his and whatever, and fortunately I think I'm immune to poison oak, so I I wouldn't care to put my legs on him, but I don't want it spreading on his body, because of me touching him, because it will. So, and I think I did cause it to spread in the beginning.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, but yeah, we have a love seat and we're right next to each other, and that's our happy place right there.
So we were talking about your style and then your love
Yeah.
languages. So I love that.
So essentially, yes, when you said that, oh, well, I would wear all five of those. I like everything. It's true. And same with the love languages. Of course, I like getting gifts. I mean, that's how my dad showed me love all growing up. So to me, that's that does say love to me, because that's my dad's love language. And I know that. And that's how I felt love from him. So everybody's a little of all five. Like, of course, people want quality time, or, if you never get any quality time, that wouldn't be good. So you got to play around with all of it, and everybody needs a little of all of it. So the
yeah,
joy is the same way, like one day you feel a little edgy and rocker chick, you gotta put the gunmetal on, you know?
What did I have on yesterday? Oh, I was all Fifth Avenue yesterday. I had my big sparkle bling bling on yesterday. What one was that one called?
That's Fifth Avenue set. Yeah. I don't remember what the name of that necklace is
Oh, I love
specifically,
that.
but
Like I love me some that. That is definitely, but then I would totally love that. And you know what? I just realized we both have animal print on.
oh yeah.
This is another dress from Amber. Look, I love
I
the little
recognize
ruffles.
that. Yeah, that's cute too. What does the bottom of that look like? What does the bottom of that one look like?
It's a long, loose moo tunic.
Oh, okay.
But you can totally belt it and it looks cute, but I'm just moo-mooing it tonight.
Yeah, well, it's comfortable that way. And we can't see your bottom half, so who cares?
So that's the bonus about having a very online business. It's like, yeah, I could just hang out, but it is a dress. I'm a little taller, so I would say I would probably wear tights with it or
Yeah.
something. But makes a great swimsuit, you know.
It's really cute. I have something similar to like a dress similar to like
Oh
that
no, you
already.
need to get some of her other stuff, girl.
What's that?
I said you need to get some of her other stuff, but you better not get what I want. We have similar tastes. So you already did. That's
I already did. You sold it to me.
I know.
Jody got the cutest animal print, like leopard print dress on, and it's cold shoulders, and I love cold shoulders. I have a thing for showing my shoulders. I think it's cute and like a little bit sexy and spunky, and it goes with my can go with my rocker vibe or whatever. It's just a cute look to me, and I love it. And then she told me it was a dress, and I was like, oh, I thought it was a shirt. And then, it was like a tunic type, and I'm trying so hard to lose weight, and so I don't want anything to look like big on me. I want to constantly be looking in the mirror and seeing that I'm getting smaller, and that motivates me.
A different example. This is definitely a tunic. That one is more like your hubby tee size.
Yeah, that's good.
Hubby tee dress.
Yeah, I'm going to work it out. I'm going to rock it no matter what, because Jody pointed out, oh, just throw a belt on it, girl. And I was like, oh, okay, well, all right. So she sold me, my bangs keep doing weird things. So she sold me on it, and
I wasn't trying.
yeah, and I just ordered it. And then Amber, we were talking about it with Amber, and she goes, yeah, just put a belt on. I go, yeah, it's already in my cart, girl. Jody sold it to me already.
Well, it has super cute. I think you're gonna like it. It has buttons, and the bottom of it has this double little ruffle thing, but yet it's still rocker, but it's got a little bit of a like mini. The details are really cute. Not like girly ruffly, but just
I cannot
a little.
wait. I'm sure I'm gonna fall in love with it as soon as I try it on, and I'm so excited to get it.
We'll have to come on Quincy's.
Yeah, I've already got plans for it. I'm going to use my gold scarf necklace as a belt, and I'm gonna rock it out. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Excited. Plus, they don't usually see what I got going on the bottom anyway, unless I choose to show them. So
Brandy says she thinks she's gunmetal too. She's got gunmetal silver paint. She's painting wood shields, like a literal shield.
Bronze. Yeah. Sounds like you like the metals.
Yeah.
Maybe a music girl. Yeah.
Amber says belt it. So let's get into, Wisdom Wednesday. I always love to just bring somebody on, and Marnie said yes. And Marnie has actually been on if you guys go to my YouTube channel, which is Jody's Adventures and spell out ... season 1 of Coffee and Dreams is on there, and Marnie is on there. And I think she's episode 4 or 5, and it was a great episode. And so I was like, Marnie, will you come on? And she said yes. So I was excited tonight. And really, it's like, what's God putting on your heart tonight is what Wisdom Wednesday is about. And also just sharing your life. Like, hey, I'm a mom. I'm a mamapreneur. I'm, so what is in this moment, in this season, what is God speaking to you right now, Marnie?
He's asking me to get super vulnerable.
Okay.
Right now. And he is actually now telling me right in this moment that it's a season of vulnerability. Oh.
I think that's why you've been almost crying. Wow. I think you're a feeler.
He's telling me it's not just tonight. He wants me to keep stepping out like this, and I'm just scared. That's all. I'm truly terrified right now.
Okay.
But I'm holding it together. He wants me to talk about the whole I'm transforming right now into a butterfly, the butterfly that I'm supposed to be. Okay, that's just the metaphor for it, but I'm basically trying to get out of the cocoon right now, and I'm fighting my way. And I've never had a period in my life where I don't know how to really describe it or put my finger on it, where my self development.
I'm going to give you the stick.
I've never had a period in my life like this where my self development. You know how when you start a new job and everything seems so overwhelming, but at the same time they're giving you the steps, right? They're training you. And I'm realizing now that God's with me and he's training me. Just like when you said yesterday, when on your thing last night, when you were saying, "Oh, hi, Carrie." Oh my gosh, now I'm like, oh my God, my people are jumping on now. Oh, Carrie, God's asking me to step out in faith and be very vulnerable and just share what's going on and what he's doing with me right now in this season. So, yeah, it's kind of scary to talk about it, but he's telling me that it's going to help other people. So that's why I'm being brave and talking about it. But it goes back to when you start a new job, there's all these things to learn. And I've had jobs it could be anything from a waitress to 911 dispatcher to dental hygienist. Okay, I've had all those jobs have been my job, right? So there's a lot to learn, and there's steps that you have to go through in order to become proficient at that job and learn the ropes. And then once you learn the ropes, you can go in, on 3-4 hours sleep and perform just great. When I was a 911 dispatcher, I was super young, and so I was still in my partying phase. And I remember going to the rodeo the night before and going to work the next day and answering phones and saving people's lives. It becomes like a second habit, right? It just automatically, you just go into that mode and you can just do it, right? Well, that's how I feel right now. And so when you're learning a new job, it just takes a lot out of you. Like, you're just physically and emotionally exhausted at the end of the day, even though you didn't really do any physical labor. So that's what I've been feeling. And I've been feeling that God has been, he's showing me all the steps. He's showing me everything that I need to do. And I'm listening to him, and I'm just, he's telling me, you got it. You got it. You already know, what you're doing. You just gotta believe in yourself more, keep getting competent. That confidence is going to come, and I'm here with you. This is your time. This is your season to really elevate and take it to the next level. Okay, because we can work on a business, we can own a business, but you know, and people say, oh, if you have a business, you need to treat it like a business. Well, you don't really totally know what that means until you're actually treating it like a business, if that makes any sense. I hope I'm making sense.
You totally are. I think you are.
So that's what he's showing me right now. And it's kind of it goes back to like other parts of your life, to where you have to be. And then, okay, so now I'm in a season 2 where I'm finally figuring out what it means when you give it to God. I've said so many times before, I give this all to you, God. I give this problem to you, God. I give my business to you, God. Show me the way, God. Show up for me. Tell me what to do in this moment, in this time, today, tomorrow. And he's been doing that. He's been doing that for years for me. But I don't think that I really fully let go and 110% completely trusted the process and his training.
Ooh, I like that. I want you to
His process, I have to say, his process, because I believe in the process of what I've been doing for 7 years in my business. But I fell into the trap of comparing myself to others. And I fell into the trap of saying, why not me? Why isn't it my time? I put in the time, Lord. I put in the work. Well, I wouldn't say that I didn't put in enough work, but I didn't have those steps. I hadn't, I'm going to use the words of cute Amber showed me last night. I have not been walking.
Did you say cute Amber?
I have not been walking on the path of those stepping stones that God has laid out for me.
Oh.
There are stepping stones that lead into a beautiful garden.
Wow.
And they lead me right to him. And he's waiting for me to go across all these steps. And it doesn't matter what step I'm at. It doesn't matter how many more steps now. I'm so at peace with it, and I'm good, and I know that I've known that I've been on the right path for a really long time. But now I'm just like completely, I guess, just surrendering the process. And it also goes back to, you hear people say all the time, we have the choice. Happiness is a choice, right? We have a choice. We may not have a choice on what happens to us, but we have the choice on how we react and how we respond to it, right? I think we're all like that. It's our humanness that keeps us seeing our need for a savior. Yes, sometimes we also run on our own, and he tells us not to walk on our own, but follow him. Yes. Yeah, exactly, Carrie. So
oh my gosh, Carrie's got it. She's saying another one right here.
Carrie's wonderful. He is still with you, and you will learn from all the steps you go through. God is refining us through all. Yes, absolutely. So yes,
and I love what you're talking about, Marnie, because I think, especially when you've accepted God into your life for a long time, I think that we could, at least I did, I thought just because I said it and I knew I was supposed to trust God, that I just did. But it is a process. And there are sometimes there's fears, there's things we've experienced in this world, there's traumas, there's stuff that we don't realize, but our lens of who God is has been morphed from, and so it sometimes filters how we see him as a father, as a provider, as a savior, as a friend, as everything. And so I love that you're being so vulnerable and sharing this, because I don't think, I hear all the time people say, trust him, but I think that we're always working down those steps to the next level. We're not, until we go to heaven, I think that we will continue to learn to trust him more and more.
Yeah, and my background is a lot of, he is my father, but my own earthly parents, haven't always been there for me. Like my dad, like I said, he's a wonderful dad, but he was a single dad. He raised my sister and I, and from the age of about 12, I was the mom. My sister was like my daughter. I had to cook and everything, and I didn't do a lot of cleaning, I'll admit, but I had to cook for us and make sure we stayed alive, right? Because my dad was a firefighter and he worked overnight shifts. Up until the age we were 12, we had live-in babysitters, and I've loved clothes since day one, right? And my sweet dad, he even made us clothes at one point. He sat down and he's a jack of all trades. I mean, he's not a jack of all trades. He's a master of so many things. So he taught himself how to sew, and he like made us, and he would put our hair in pigtails, and hi Savannah, blessings to you, love. So that is something that I have to remind myself when I sit here and say, oh, well, my dad never told me he loved me. He still doesn't, unless I say it first. Like 9 out of 10 times I will say, I love you. And his response will be, okay, take it easy. Or, oh, okay, see you later. Like he just doesn't say I love you back. But the 9 times out of 10, he won't say it, but that 10th time he says it. And so, and I have noticed that it's almost like I've trained him, I've conditioned him. Like, Marnie is going to say, I love you. What are you going to say? What you going to say? So I notice now that it's about 50-50 now that he says it back. And it's so incredible to me. And it's awesome. So anyhow, so that's my dad. My dad wasn't around, and I loved clothes. So when I was 12, I had this great idea to go to my dad and petition to him and say, you know what, Dad, save the money that you pay the live-in babysitter. Just give it to Marcia and I for a clothing allowance. We'll watch ourselves. So
thank God I did not have those parents. I would have been in big trouble.
My dad was like, hey, I'm going to save money here. I don't have to buy them clothes anymore. I'm going to pay them what the live-in babysitter made. And it's not against the law to leave your kids home at 12 if they're responsible enough. So that's what we did. We had absolutely no rules, no nothing. And $100 a month for clothes. $100 a month. And back then, that was a lot. That was like $500 now.
At 12, I had to mow lawns to earn my clothing allowance, and I think dog and kitty sit for people that were gone.
Oh, so yes, but the downside of that was, I felt very alone a lot of times growing up. And what Carrie said about sometimes we also run on our own, that like hit me like so hard, because I realized
I'm going to put that up again.
That's what I'm used to. That's what I'm used to, being alone. I'm used to having to figure things out on my own. Like, I didn't have my mom around to figure out, to show me how to do makeup. So I've had to teach myself. And it's really only in the last maybe a couple of years that I've even gotten more confident about just makeup. And, I'm in my 40s. So like, but I just never had anyone to show me. And so I've had to learn a lot of stuff on my own, and I felt, for all intents and purposes, my mother abandoned me.
And that's where the ultimate abandonment. Yeah,
she's beautiful. She's a beautiful,
People
beautiful
are flawed,
lady.
and I think as we get older, we can look and go, and that was my question I was going to ask you, is now that you've walked through a process and you've been a single mom, my guess is that you have a new lens even for what your dad and your mom were going through. Like,
Yeah, for
your
sure.
dad was, I mean, my guess is, especially being a firefighter, you had to kind of push your feelings down anyway, probably, because you saw a lot of difficult things.
Yes. Yeah.
And she said you're a great mother.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, my mom, I got some, I think I got some good things from my mom. But I have forgiven her. I guess I have traumatic event in my life too. I know you were talking about that. Jody was gracious enough to come in and train with my team yesterday, and it was just a great period of breakthrough and awesomeness. But she was saying, traumatic event, you could have fear from that. And I'm thinking, I don't really have a trauma. Yes, I do have traumatic events. My mother ended up dying when I was 25, and I did not even know she was in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very, very traumatic. It's totally a lot of my life is something out of a movie, I feel like, because
Well, I feel like your mom leaving had to be pretty traumatic too.
well, it was more like a gradual
I don't
thing.
want to make you cry.
No, I mean, I think I'm okay. I mean, I think I got it out early, I think. But my mom, my parents got divorced when I was 4.
Okay.
And they got remarried for a short time. My dad says it's just so that he could try to get custody of us because she had
Oh,
had,
the two of them got remarried to each other again.
yes, they got married
Oh,
and
I
divorced
don't know this part of
twice.
the story. Okay.
Yes. They had a very tumultuous relationship, but I think that they were also each other's loves of their lives, if that makes any sense. But my dad at least won't admit that about my mother, but I know who his other wives are, and I just know. I just know. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But I think that there was a little more to it, but according to my dad, he only remarried her so he could get custody of us. And he proved her to be an unfit mother. And so he got full custody of us. So instead of, accepting that, my mom just couldn't accept that. Her babies were gone.
Mm.
And so she just started moving further and further away. And then she eventually met her next husband and had 2 more sons. And I remember her specifically telling me, this is one of the last times I spoke with her, that she wanted to have more babies to replace my sister and I. She used those words. And that hurt me so bad. Like, not only did she physically move away from me and make it a point not to, like, she didn't show up to my high school graduation because she didn't have enough money, but she knew that it was happening for, everybody knows when their kid's going to graduate, you have 4 years to plan it. You know what I mean? So I just remember, it was so bittersweet for me, my high school graduation, because I wanted my mom there. Everybody else had their parents there, and I wanted my mom there so bad for me, and she couldn't be there for me. She wouldn't be there for me. She was an alcoholic. She smoked, she had some major life issues, and, I don't blame her now. I mean, I did for a long time, and then I blamed myself because I wasn't able to say goodbye to her. I didn't know. I couldn't, you know, couldn't try to make things right and all that kind of stuff. And it tormented me for years that I never got to say goodbye. My brothers, they were young at the time, and it's not an excuse for them, but you know what? Somehow, like, she was asking for us. She was asking for my sister and I. Well, she was in the hospital for 3.5 months. She had a
Oh my gosh.
she had a major heart attack. Well, I guess I learned all the pieces later. But my youngest brother told me that she had decided that she wanted to not drink anymore and not smoke anymore. She had this major heart attack, and so she hadn't had the heart attack yet. She knew that, you know, I used to tell her when I was a kid, you know, Mom, please stop smoking, please stop smoking. And she would say something to the effect of, well, I'm going to die someday anyway. And that's like, you don't say that to your child. Like, what is wrong with you, lady? Like, she said that to me. So anyways, she had decided at 51 that it was time for her to, you know, take care of herself. And so she stopped drinking and smoking cold turkey. When you drink a lot and you smoke over 2 packs a day, you can't just stop. Your body is going to go into shock. And so that's exactly what happened. And then 2 days later, she had a major heart attack.
Wow.
And she almost died. So then she was in the hospital, had a quadruple.
And you didn't know about any of this?
I had no idea. Had a quadruple bypass. And she was in the hospital for 3.5 months recovering from it. And so she ended up getting a blood clot, and an aneurysm is what killed her. So it went to her brain, and then that's what actually killed her ultimately. But yeah, she was in the hospital for 3.5 months asking for my sister and I, and my brothers couldn't find my phone number, but the day that she died, somehow they could find the phone number to call. So I was really upset with my brothers for a long time, but you know, what can I do? What can I do? And
how old were they?
Well, let's see. It was in 97. It was the day of Kate and Daryl's wedding.
I thought I remembered that.
Yes. So, and the ironic thing was I knew somehow, because I could not sleep the whole entire night, and I was up all night long. I was the maid of honor in my really good friend's wedding, and I said, I can't sleep. Something was off. And then at like 5 a.m, I was able to finally fall asleep. Well, we had to be up at 7 a.m. or something crazy like that. So I got a couple hours sleep. But what I learned later is when I finally went to sleep was like the exact time that my mother left this earth. And I had no idea.
God, that's so similar to my dad. I know you and I talked about it. It was like,
so it's like I was with her, you know, and then when she passed, I went to sleep. But yeah, I had such a great day. It was such a happy day. I mean, for all of us. And my dad was there. My sister was there. You know, I was a maid of honor, partied it up. Went to my house to change clothes and to go out with, you know, with friends. And that's when my dad had gone home already. And he said, he just told me, said, your mother died. And I was like, what? You know, so simultaneously it was one of the best days of my life and the worst day of my life. And I just, oh, it was rough. It was rough. So yeah, 25 lost my mama. And when you're 25, you really don't know who you are. And I don't know if there's some young ladies on here right now, but if you don't know your way, if you have a lot of angst within you or whatever, like, That's okay. You will work through it, and you will get through it. And just, hold the faith and keep the faith that that you're going to make it. You're going to make it through okay, and there's better days to come. And now most of the times I can think about my mom and not be mad at her, and not, like, I've forgiven her. I got to go to her funeral and all that kind of stuff. And, it's just.
And it's definitely trauma. And I think that we all have it. And sometimes I think that it is minimized. But here's a question I have for you for your wisdom, Marnie. So I do believe I saw Abigail was on, and I think she's 20 or 21, and I saw Sunny is on, and I know she is a little younger, and I think she's in her 20s too. So here's what I would love to know: what would you? Oh, and Savannah just said something. I don't know how old Savannah is, but I think time to mourn, time to joy. God does not promise some hard times, but he does promise he will help us through it. That is so cool. Yeah. And my question to you is, knowing what you know now and what you have been through, what do you wish that 25-year-old Marnie knew? Is there anything? I don't know what the answer is. I just thought I'd love to know, looking back at that 25, maybe even the next few years after that. And
that I am worthy, that I'm worthy of being loved, that I am, that I'm special.
Yeah, Savannah's 26. Okay.
I would have worked harder on loving myself and
Oh.
truly figuring out what that means, because I really honestly had never said that I truly love myself until, I would say, within the last 2 years. Yeah.
Wow.
It's taken a while. And I some people are good at just, fake it till you make it. So, but I always grew up, and I'd always look around and thinking, that girl over there, she's my same age. She might have been 25, 27 too. And that girl, somehow she has it. She looks like she has it, like, put together or whatever, and she must have had parents that supported her or whatever. But the truth is, she might have just figured it out. She might have had a worse life than me, but she might have just figured it out sooner. And that's the real heart of the message that I wanted to bring tonight, is that it's kind of like the same thing where when people say, well, just find your happy place, or just choose to be happy. And if you're like, if you don't really understand what that means, or you don't have the skills to do that yet, you're not going to hear that. You're not going to understand how to begin to try to do that. You're going to think that person is just crazy and doesn't know what they're talking about. And you're basically saying you need to know your identity. That's what God was. Yes, absolutely. And I'm just figuring out who I really am.
Me too. Like the last 5 years, I have to say, as I've hit probably one of the lowest points in my life, that and people will look at I have to say, I've had a lot of happy, great times, but there is something I missed investing in myself. I missed that self doing for myself.
You were so happy putting on a show for others, because I always saw you as, so Jody and I, if you're just joining, Jody and I have known each other for more than 30 years.
Yeah,
so
1990 we met.
Yeah, so we grew up with each other during our 20s, and we really watched each other, kind of struggle with things or whatever. But Jody was always the one that was like positive and happy-go-lucky, and like, oh, you guys, it's not that bad, and like,
And you guys would be
you were
like,
always
go away, lady, go
right.
away. We
Just
need to go
always
take
talking
a
about like how it's totally fine and everything, But Jody lost her daddy right around the time I lost my mom. But like
earlier, actually, the year we met, Marnie, I had
yeah.
just lost my dad 2 weeks before.
Oh
I was
wow.
18. I had lost my dad 2 weeks before I start. I didn't think I was going to start college at Shasta College. I had gotten a job at Disneyland and I wanted to stay and live down in Orange County. That's how we all ended up in Fullerton because I wanted to go back there because that truly was my happy place before everything I found out working on Disneyland in Autopia. I got pulled off the ride and I had to talk to the corner. That's how I found out.
Oh man, Savannah, I love that. Look, can you highlight what she just said about your identity? I love that. I love that. And that's where I'm just stepping into. I'm just now stepping into, and Jody's actually been a big part of me, like really, like I don't mean to sound corny, but I will plug your business, connecting the dots. Like she's been a big part of connecting the dots for me, because it's like I've been right on the brink and right on the brink, and like, and so many times I've thought that, okay, well now I'm ready to, really love myself and really step out in faith and really just go for all my dreams with no fear and all the gusto, like that's what God's calling me to do. God's calling me to inspire others and lift others up. And when I found my business, I was a single mom, like completely like one of the lowest parts of my life. So I have a real heart for single mamas. And so, but I was
Wow. Savannah just shared this.
wow. Oh, I'm so sorry, love, that you had to go through that. Mm. Yeah, that's abandonment in the, I mean, that's the most extreme form of abandonment somebody could do in my eyes, is to kill themselves. That's yeah. Mm.
And then Carrie said, these people are doing really awesome things. Carrie said, I believe that we all go through different trials in order to help people that God will bring into our path. Carrie, that is so good, because I was even thinking about the fact of the difference between your story and my story, because my dad was he probably was a physical touch dad. Like, I mean, meaning he
Oh
showed
yeah,
his love. He
I
was,
I know that just from seeing pictures of you and your daddy. I
yeah.
You can see that in the pictures, and yeah.
So I
And
had,
all the pictures of my dad and I'm hugging him, and he's just there. But
yeah.
yeah, I know what you're saying.
So I
Exactly.
had all of that. And even then, and when you were saying connecting the dots, I think that's been part of my journey, is still believing, like, I kept trying to be somebody else. I kept thinking I needed to do this. And it really, I do think when a trauma happens, we don't realize we stop dreaming. And so here I'm working in and I had just graduated high school, Marnie, and I got the dream job of the world working at Disneyland. And in that moment, I at the end of that is when my dad died and I had to leave suddenly. We flew home, I left, I never went back to my job. My mom came and picked me up, and then there I was back in Reading where everyone knew me. Part of, I think, what I loved about Marnie was she didn't know me. Everyone knew my dad and everybody knew me. And so I wanted to wear glasses and a hat and nobody see me, because I didn't want to talk about it anymore. I wanted to be kind of invisible.
That makes total sense, because you didn't tell me about that for a while. Like I didn't know about that for a
Mm-mm.
while, until I started going out to your house and stuff, is when like you told me, or I kind of found out or whatever. But Yeah, that makes
Well, and
total
I can
sense.
see God in that too, Marnie, because there were several friends. I think of all the people, even like, I think, what was it, Chris Burns and Trevor and all
Kate.
these people and Kate that God brought, had moved there. And and we had Danielle, which Danielle is always like, she's been my friend since I was 14 years old. But a lot of people had a hard time because it reminded them that their dad could die too. Like they knew my dad was, and so I think of that now, like, look how God even showed up there. Like here in the town, I had to move back to, not really being thrilled. He brought you and all these different people that you didn't know the story, and I didn't have to tell it over and over and feel like people were looking at me like poor thing.
I know what you're saying, because after my mother died, so I was a 911 dispatcher at the time, and we were allowed to take 2 weeks grieving for, like for your parent. If your parent or grandparent died, I believe you could take 1 or 2 weeks or whatever. But I took the max time I could. And, I'm so, so thankful. So thank you, God. Thank you, God. Praise be to God that I am my own boss now. And if I am sick, I don't have to explain to nobody why I'm not bringing my nasty, sick butt into work. That's a donkey, right? So it's not really a bad word. So I, I think God wanted me to say a little potty word so that it would make me laugh right there. Um, so it's the rocker chick in me. I can't help it.
I was totally thinking that. I'm like, that's the total sassy rocker chick.
In me. Ah! So, but yeah, I remember they gave me a really hard time about wanting to take 2 weeks because my mama died, right? And so when I finally came back in to work, like nobody wanted to even look at me. They didn't know what to say. I felt like I had a disease or something. It was awful. It was the most awful feeling. So yes, people might not want to talk about it, but please, like, if you know somebody that just lost somebody, treat them like a person. At least say hello, like, or just give them a hug or like a high five or something. Keep her 6 feet right now, but just say, hey, I'm here for you if you ever want to talk, or just say something. Like they literally like treated me like I was an alien, or like I
And I
had
think that people just don't know what to do. One part of my story I would say that God has used for me is because it happened at such a young age. I know what to do. I will just bring food over. I will just sit there. I'll go wash their dishes for them because they don't really need you to talk. They just need you to be there and say, hey, you want to cry? Let me give you a Kleenex.
Yeah. So what Brandy's saying, I think there's a beautiful message there, but I'm not really sure if that's a question or what time can you come out of the cocoon and spread your wings like a monarch butterfly and look up on monarch butterflies, how to keep things away from them being eaten. Hey, I'm coming out of my cocoon right now, Brandy, and when I come out, I am not going to be afraid of being eaten. I'm just going to live my life. I'm going to flit around and do what I'm supposed to be doing.
I love it. I love it. And then she said something else.
I'm going to be bringing joy to others and pollinating flowers and, smelling things with my feet and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be spreading whatever butterflies do. I'm going to be spreading my wings and showing everybody my wings. And I'm going to fly away. If there's something that I'm not, that I'm not down for, I'm just going to fly away and not feel bad about it. I'm going to try something else. I'm going to go fly somewhere else. I'm going to go see if I can find some, rotten banana or something somewhere. That's what butterflies like.
I love what Carrie says. She said, I was called to create a Bible study one time at the end. It was for me, healing for myself. We were actually talking about that today, Marnie, what today even was about. And sometimes we do things and we don't know it's God's divine setup for us to bring more healing. She said they also got what God wanted for them, but God used me and healed me through it. He hasn't used my story as of yet, but I believe he will. I love that. I love that. And I love what you're saying, Marnie, about the butterfly, because I really feel like a lot of people are in this season. They're right in the season of coming out. I don't even know why I saw this, but butterflies have the whole thing from a caterpillar. I don't know if you know this, but then the caterpillar in the cocoon is where it ends up forming its wings. It goes from the little fuzzy caterpillar. We used to have tons outside on our back patio where Marnie's been. We've had parties.
And I was thinking that I wasn't going to cry again, but I might cry when I say this. My mom, I love my mom. I love, she's my mommy, and she always will be. I love my mommy. And she loved, loved, loved butterflies. Butterflies were like her favorite thing. And I feel like my mama never, she never came out of her cocoon, and she never got to spread her wings. And so it's doubly important that I do that. And
it's the legacy, Marnie. And it's like I kept hearing the word in the church language about mantles. And I'm like, what the heck is a mantle? I don't really know. And people are like, I see a mantle, and you're going to do something in your family that didn't happen. And all of a sudden I realized, so I don't know if you know this part about my dad, but it was his dream to have a shoe store. And he had one right there where Albertson's shopping center was, right next to Miller's Outpost. We had the boot man. And then when things went rough, he had to, I didn't know this at the time. Later I found out he had to file, it had to close, and there was bankruptcy. And my grandpa's dream was to own stores too. And he did it, and it didn't quite work out. And what I realize now is part of why I've done the work on myself and keep pushing through the painful part is I want to do that and be in my family, the one that conquers the next thing in legacy. For, I don't have kids, but for my great nieces and nephews, and for all of them to go, you know what, Aunt Jody, she did this, and she kept facing her fears, and she kept going deeper into it. And look, and I can, like, to me, the biggest honor is to be able to accomplish. And part of why I have been so scared to launch this business, because it's that I don't have the qualifications as a financial advisor, right? I got the license, I got everything. So it made it really vulnerable, but my dad didn't either. And I feel like the most ultimate thing is for me to do the next part. My dad didn't get to finish it here on earth. He went, his life wasn't as long. And so do you know, when I started working on this, I'm 48 now, but I was 47, and that was the age my dad was when he died. And I felt like there was something big on that. And I was like, okay, I'm here and I'm alive, and God's calling me to be courageous and bold and fight it and do this, because I just like, I feel like the same for you, Marnie. Your mom is cheering you on. She's saying you have it and it's in you, and
yeah,
you're going to conquer this that I wasn't able to conquer. And it's going to change your son's life and your great grandkids. There's going to be a shift of you fighting to be in your son, to be a mom. You know what I mean? All the things that you have done, and own a business, and like come out of the cocoon. Because do you know that if you don't come out of the cocoon, the butterfly dies? I didn't know that. There's a point where their wings can actually start expanding, and that's what starts to open up the cocoon. And sometimes they do it too soon. And I used to see it because I don't know why, but we had tons of caterpillars in our house growing up. And there were always these cocoons that, unfortunately, it was dead inside. It's like it tried to get out too soon. And so there's so much amazing parts about a butterfly. But what I love the most, I think, about the butterfly, that if you take its DNA when it's a caterpillar and you take its DNA when it's a butterfly, it's the same butterfly. It's the same DNA. So the beauty of them staying in the cocoon and getting the wings, and now it can fly. A caterpillar can't fly, and now it can move, right? And it can go places, but it had to be willing to stay in that cocoon. But it's the same DNA.
Hmm.
And I feel it reminds me of the beauty of transformation. Oh, so I think she's saying something about the monarch. Oh, the monarch spirit. Oh, she says, I see
Oh,
his
I got a
arm.
leopard print on my wings. That's cool. You will go. Others will not.
See, I told you this. You're going to reach people that others can't reach.
That's Brandy. That's what God's told me my purpose is. Like but you have to take care of yourself first, right? You have to figure it out on your own first before you can teach somebody else, really. Or yeah, you have to go through all the steps first so you know what they are. Like, and it's cool. What I like about my journey is I'm thankful that I can still like put myself, like, if I start talking about how when I was a single mom and I couldn't afford to feed my son, and I couldn't afford to buy him clothes, and my son's dad one time looked at me and said, "Why don't you get a real job?" When I was working so hard and trying to, grow my business and all this kind of stuff. He did say those exact words to me, but it's like, without sharing all the gory details, I just, I can put myself right back in those moments, and it'll make me cry. Like, it'll make me, like, I can feel the dread and the angst of not being able to pay my bills, and not being able to feed my child, and not being able to put gas in the car. And that's the thing that makes me keep going every day and wanting to reach other people that I can help, because my business has completely changed my life. And it's not just a business, it's not just jewelry, it's a whole family. It's a whole, there's people that I've met that are lifelong friends of mine now because of this, and customers like Carrie. Carrie's my friend. I love you, Carrie. And
Did you see what she just wrote? This
I
was
met her
so
because of
powerful.
the jewelry. I haven't read it
Yeah.
yet. The struggle of the butterfly cracking through the cocoon gave its strength to come out with mature and progress. That's you. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
That's what it is, Carrie. That was what I saw. So it has to struggle to break the cocoon. And some of them don't want to work that hard, but the struggle of breaking the cocoon makes their wings strong enough so they can fly. And what Carrie was saying before, their
Oh.
wings will, if they don't come out of the cocoon, that's what she was saying, their wings will not mature, and they will drag their wings and not be able to fly. So it's that pain of the process of staying in the cocoon, staying in that place and pushing through, like that was what I saw, that they have to really push to break open the cocoon.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm going through now, is like I'm breaking through that cocoon, and I'm it's exhilarating, but it's exhausting at the same time, and it's a little bit scary, but like, and the only thing I'm scared about is that I'll go back, that I'll revert to like not being ready to fly yet, like, because I don't want to go back to that place of immobilizing fear, and and stepping back from things when that's the opposite of what I should be doing, you know what I mean? Or
So you know
people.
what I love about the butterfly, though? So if you think about it, it perseveres and keeps putting its wings, and the cocoon opens and it gets out. Do you know, Marnie, you can't go back to the caterpillar because they've got wings now.
Right.
I just
Right.
thought about that. You can't go back. You might want to crawl, but you only have 2 legs, not all those furry little legs a caterpillar has.
Right.
You've got the wings, and you have to learn how
It
to
doesn't
fly
look
them.
like this anymore. It looks like this now,
Yeah.
like, ooh, look at me.
Yeah.
Like, I am here. I am soaring. I am,
And
I'm
my
showing all my
pastor,
colors now. I'm
yeah. And I didn't even think about this with the wings, but my pastor, Lance, was just saying this. He said, in some of the things people raise their hand and people think it's like a Pentecostal thing, but the real truth of why we raise our hands is he grew up kind of, he's like, yeah, stick them up, or I surrender. This is an I surrender. And I was thinking about the wings. When you have your wings open and you're going to flap, you're saying, I surrender. I surrender to my calling. I surrender to who you made me, God. I surrender. Like, I didn't think
Well,
about it until just
I've
now.
always felt too, like if I'm in worship and I go like this, it's me letting like God's love come through my hands and into me,
Mm-hmm.
Step out in faith, there is no right way.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
It was indirect. You pray for his wisdom, direction, and guidance. He will. What he has called you to step out in faith. We don't have to have it all together. Yeah, that's a good word too.
And then Carrie says her Bible study was built around, see, we've been talking about these lies.
Yeah.
So what's the truth about your wings now, Marnie? What's the truth about going to be a butterfly and flit around?
The truth about my wings is that they are strong and they are vibrant and people want to see it. People want to see it because it gives them inspiration. It gives them hope that they can be a butterfly.
I'm seeing your shirt right now, and I'm like, that totally is like your butterfly wings. And it's got flowers on it.
It is. It kind of does have like a wing effect to it. Kind of funky.
Yes.
Carrie, that's awesome. I like that. And yeah, Jody did a great exercise with us and my team where I feel like everybody needs to do it if they haven't already, but she said your first name, say it in your head, just say it to yourself. And what do you hear? What is the quality of that voice? It's quiet, right? It's going to be quiet. And how does that sound? And she's like, that's God, that's your inner voice, that's God, and that's your kindness, that's your kind voice. And when it's the devil, it's loud, it's a lie. You're not good enough, like, why don't you try harder? You didn't get this or that done, you didn't do that right, and that's all. That's just lies we tell ourselves, because even if we make a mistake, mistakes are needed, and I hope that I finally have figured out too, like, mistakes are just it's just the lesson that God wants you to learn.
Oh wow, Randy says when you flap your wings in strength, that will blow off, and there will be lighter and fly. And Carrie, so what Marnie's talking about is, so I have a life coach business called Connecting, and one of my big focus is on being helping people get to that breakthrough point of spiritual health and kind of financial wellness. I like to call it wellness, because wellness, healthy, well, and wealthy is what, but wealthy is a mindset. It's not just what's in your bank account. It's truly a mindset, I believe, and a worthiness. Like, wealthy looks different than rich.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So how do you want to end this, Marnie?
I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. I just encourage anybody out here that might be watching this that is finds themselves, constantly in the cycle of fear, or because people are only, I believe, and I've heard this before, that people only come from two places. They're either coming from fear or they're coming from love. And everything that we do as humans, we're either coming from a place of fear or we're coming from a place of love. And to really, like, if you find yourself that you're always in the place of fear and you're always self-doubting, and you hear over, this might be a whole other subject in itself, but so many times it seems like so many people these days are riddled with anxiety and angst, and fear and anxiety, I feel, are like just these nasty cousins that work
Yes.
hand in hand together, and they're nasty. And when the day that you decide, oh, I would love that, Brandy. That's so sweet. I feel like the day that you decide that enough is enough, and there's been many days where I've said before this time in my life, I've said enough is enough. I'm not going to be negative, but the truth is that, chains, but the chains that we've worn for years, like, they're hard to break, and it's hard to break those chains, and it takes time and patience, and you do have to just completely rely on God and ask him for help and ask him for his guidance, and 110% just like know that he's got you. But there will be times where you, like, of course I'm going to stumble. Of course I'm, it's not like I'm saying I'm never going to have a bad day in my life again,
Yeah.
but I am not going to be coming from that place of, like, where my core
You're giving
energy.
yourself grace, because we talked about this yesterday, grace and grit.
Yes.
We have to give other people, we have to give ourselves grace because God gives us grace. But then the grit factor is pushing through, because it's funny you say what you were saying. I just kept hearing, Marnie, like, literally, I felt like God said, take your glasses off. And I want you to say to everybody right now, it is in you. You
Yes.
have the grit. The Holy
Grit.
Spirit, you have it. You have it to pull yourself back up. It is painful and it
And
is
God's going
different.
to help you with the grace.
Yes.
God's going to help you with the grace too. And yes, you're his beautiful daughter, and you're you're perfect in his sight. I can remember, I tell my son all the time, you're the best thing that ever happened to mama. You're the best thing that ever happened to mama. Like, I tell him that all the time. Like, if I want him to know one thing, I want him to know that. But I've always told him since he was a little itty baby, you're perfect. You're perfect in his sight. And and that's because I knew that at the time I was so hard on myself. And I wanted so badly for my child to know that he is perfect. He was made perfect, perfectly made by God. And, we all have trials and struggles, and, but we can work through it, and we can get through it, and we can grow, and, constantly evolving. I just because I feel like I have my wings now, and I'm ready to fly as a butterfly, doesn't mean that, my colors on my wings, they might get a little brighter, they might get even sparklier. There's always room for improvement, and that's okay. That's where we truly are where we're supposed to be.
Yeah. And then you'll disciple other ones in the cocoon that just become butterflies and just get wings. And that's part of what we do. Once we break through something, then we can come back and help others through it.
But
I love.
it really is. I don't know if if I have expressed the real main thing that I wanted to say is that like I'm not even sure if I can even explain it, but it's like you tell a teenager, you shouldn't drive fast in your car, go the speed limit or whatever. This is just the example that came to my mind. And then, they don't listen and they want to go fast and they get in a wreck. Thankfully they're okay. The car, might be a little banged up or whatever, but they're okay. But they had to make that mistake. They had to go through it themselves before they really understood what that meant. Yeah, I should slow down so that I stay safe, or whatever it may be. Or if you tell your friend, don't go back to that nasty boyfriend, he treated you awful, you're probably going to lose your friend because she's going to go back to that nasty boyfriend until she learns her self-worth, until she really learns and matures and grows and realizes that her true worth. But they're not going to, you can lead a horse to water but you can't make it drink, kind of thing. So just because I am a butterfly now doesn't mean that I can just poof make everybody a butterfly. They're gonna come out of their cocoon when they're ready to come out of the cocoon. So my job is to be patient and just be there and be ready to have that rotten banana for them to eat or whatever when they finally come out of their cocoon.
So is that what they do? They eat a rotten banana?
I don't know.
Oh.
They do like rotten bananas though. They like flowers. They like rotten fruit.
Oh my gosh. This has been so awesome. And see, like, okay, so I just have to show you the one funny thing. It said, where do we go from here? Carrie said, I said, how do we end? Carrie said, with a paparazzi show.
Should I go live, Carrie, after this?
That's what she says.
I could. I mean, I have new stuff to show you guys.
She said paparazzi show. I don't know if she's still on, but that's what she said. And then you probably got to go eat, and so do I. Brandy said, go onto my page. So go to her page, and she just started a little business. So she prophetic, like she paints. God just gives her things. She's given me amazing drawings and stuff. And she said, there's woodwork for me to paint. And she said, pick what you want and message her.
Oh, like for free?
I don't know.
No.
I think for free because
yes.
I'm thinking maybe you might have
All
to pay
right,
for
you
shipping.
got it, girl. You talked me into it. I'm gonna go live at 8:30 on my business page.
Okay, so Carrie says yes. Okay, so drop your business page in because my phone died and I can't do it on
Okay.
here.
If I go to another, hang on a second.
Oh wait, maybe. Okay.
Can you still see me right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna go grab the link to my business page real quick.
Oh, it let me type. Oh, Brandy says yes. She wants to give it to you as a gift.
Oh, that is so sweet. That is so sweet. Okay, so now how do I?
Carrie says she's gonna stay on.
How do I make a comment?
Okay, I think I can comment. So now give me your page. What's the name of it? Pretty, or is it just Marnie?
I'll send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you in Messenger. Is that okay?
Yeah, but my phone's dead.
Okay, so on Facebook, it's called Feel Pretty Bling Boutique, but the link to it, I have the link right here, but I just don't know how to. Oh, I can put it in the. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll put it in the private chat in here, and then here we go. Then you can copy and paste it. There we go. I just put it in the private chat. And then you can bring the actual link if you want.
Oh,
There's
there
like
it is. Okay,
there.
I
Yeah.
just found it. Hold on. Let me try to copy it. Oh, shoot. It's not really letting me copy it. Okay. Copy. Okay, hold on. Let me try this. Let's see if this works. I'm learning something new. Oh, it worked.
Carrie is a good cheerleader for me. She's so sweet. She even, okay, so I met her at, I think I first met her at a home party, but then I saw her at an event, or maybe it was opposite. Maybe I saw her at the event first, but the first event I saw her at, she was just really, really awesome. And then I saw her at another event, and then she stood there and helped me sell the jewelry, like for at least a half an hour. It was so
Brandy,
fun.
I want you to surprise me. Pick one that you feel like she wants to make one for me too as a gift.
Aw.
Surprise me, Brandy. I feel like you're supposed to surprise me. You know me. Oh, it was she was at round table, she said. Does she live in Reading?
Okay, yes. Oh my gosh, she came to my my launch party, but it was like an accident, right? Weren't you there for a birthday party or something and just happened to be there and we totally didn't know each other?
I saw you in round table, then Red Bluff, then again at the fairgrounds. I loved helping you sell. So
Yeah, and
Carrie, do you live in Red Bluff? That's where my mom lives. Where does she live in Red Bluff or Reading?
She lives in Reading, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, she lives
I'll
in
have to
Reading.
see you next time I
I
come
should
up.
know. I actually know your address by heart, Carrie. So yeah, she just definitely lives in Reading. Because
Oh my gosh, this is funny. She says,
her stuff.
yes, I was there for a birthday party. My mom gave me money and said, go shopping. And she saw you. Oh my God, that is like the coolest story ever.
So rad. So rad. I think that might have been my launch party, either my launch party or I tried it one other time, but I was there twice selling jewelry and yeah. So
See?
yeah, she's one of my very first customers. She's probably my first stranger customer ever. Yeah. Pretty cool.
I know. You are bold and courageous, though. I still remember when we ran the wharf to wharf, and you came with your adorable basket with all of your stuff, and everybody started buying from it. There we were. We ran. Remember, we were exhausted, and we were at brunch.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She said she still has the first ring she bought from you. No way.
Yeah, she was my first Facebook party. Yeah. A lot of firsts, Carrie. You're my first, Carrie.
So, okay, we're going to end this, and Marnie is going to go over. So, if anybody wants to join Marnie, I will try. I've got to go make dinner. I'm like super late.
Yeah, I'll be
So,
live at 8:30, so like 45 minutes on my
okay.
business page. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I know. I'm excited. I love all your new stuff. Aren't you sending me some stuff I get to show everybody?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. And it's feelprettybling.com is my website if anybody wants to go check out, more. I mean, I have over 3,000 pieces here, but there's always new stuff coming out every day, Monday through Friday. I try to order it all, but I don't order it all. I can't. It's impossible. But I ordered some really, really cute heart hoops today that I'm so excited about. Thank you so much, Jody, for this. I feel like, I feel like I got some stuff out that I needed to, that God wanted me to.
Yes. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of you. Well, thank you for being on Wisdom Wednesday. Anybody can join. We do Throwdown Prayer Thursday.
You said feelpretty.com. That's lingerie. Because I wanted that as my business name at first. That's a lingerie company. It's feelprettybling.com. You have to put the bling in there.
Okay, hold on. It won't let me. Oh, and now I'm showing it. No, don't go there. Wrong place.
Unless you want some lingerie. It's feelprettybling.com. Yeah.
But if you want to wear it as an accessory.
You know, there are certain necklaces like this that, you know, would go good. Lingerie. Just saying. It would.
Oh my God. I love your top. It's so cute. Okay, well, we could talk forever, but thank you so much. I'm so proud of you for your vulnerability. And do you feel light now?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, well, yay! Oh, Savannah says LOL. She's laughing at us. So yeah, I will as soon as my phone charges and I figure out what we were doing for dinner, I will join. So 8:30, right? So about 40 minutes. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.